Guys, this week I'm in Las Vegas at the 2024 International Builder Show, and I want you to join me as I visit some of the booths of vendors that we're working with, some new vendors, share with you some products that I'm excited about. Let's get to it. So a lot of our projects have outdoor showers, and one of the issues that we have with outdoor showers, especially being in a cold climate, is that you have to drain them down, and if you don't, they're going to freeze and they're going to pop. And so Aquor actually came out with a new product, and it's actually a mixing valve. So you might be familiar with their hose bib, which is the frost protected hose bib that is completely flush with the outside of the home. They have a very similar product here, and it's designed to be a full mixing valve that is frost protected. The nice part is once this is disconnected, everything is internal, completely frost protected, and all you have to do is connect this. So this fitting itself, you connect it to, say, a handheld or even a shower head, and you have a full hot-cold operation on the outside of your home. The nice part is it's also made out of all stainless steel, which is 8 times more thermally protected than, say, brass or copper. This is the product that we've actually used on a lot of our homes. This is the hose bib. Everything is, like I said, flush versus a traditional hose bib, which you would have down there. Everything is outside. That is brass. A lot of them do come with frost protection, but you're not going to have that stainless steel like this. And once you're disconnected, what I didn't mention, when this is disconnected, this actually drains out all of the water in that line. So what happens with a traditional hose bib in a lot of our projects is that when you shut that hose bib off for the winter time, you shut it off, and then you're actually going inside, you're turning a shut off to that hose bib out, and then we're usually opening the hose bib on the outside and letting that residual drain down. That's not the case here. It's all automatic. You disconnect the outside fitting, you close that, everything drains out, completely frost protected. The most interesting thing I found in this booth this time is the fire suppression system. This is not a product they have to market. Fire suppression is becoming more and more common, especially in residential. And I know personally, I've dealt with fire suppression failures. I had a project many years ago that we had a sprinkler let go literally on the last day, a day before the client was moving in, and we had no way of stopping that water flow. And in this case, if we were using something like this or this technology, if that were to break and start flowing, unintentionally, you could actually get in there, remove it, and once you remove it, it's doing the same thing. It's stopping that water flow, very similar to the hose bib. It's a testament to what they're thinking about in terms of innovation and applying their technology to other things in an industry that is always looking to improve. So a few years ago, we actually went through this whole process of updating our financial tracking, and in that process, we actually realized that we missed $160,000 worth of job costs that didn't get billed to a job and just ended up in our overhead. So that put us in a position where we wanted to now update that process, make sure that we were capturing every single job cost, making sure that everything was billed, especially being a cost plus builder, there is no plus if we don't have that cost. So for us, we built this really manual process, and then fast forward, we actually found Adaptive. And Adaptive has actually helped automate that entire process and making sure that we're missing very little to no job costs that have to be billed. I know that myself included, and you've went to Home Depot, you've bought in that $3 tube of caulking, and it never made it to the job cost report because it's only $3. But times that by 100, times that by 15 employees, it adds up really quick, and that's where we got that $160,000 that we just never billed. This is making it really easy for the team where you're going to the store, you're purchasing something, and then you're scanning it right on your phone, and it's getting uploaded into the program. So beyond just capturing the job costs as they're coming in, making sure that they end up, being reported to the particular job, I'm excited about what is beyond that with the software. It's something that we're working really closely with the Adaptive team and helping build out our financial process, which notoriously in a cost plus world can be cumbersome and a ton of legwork. So the more we can automate, the better it is, and the more accurate we're going to be, and the more money that we're going to make. A detail we've done a lot in our previous projects is we've always lit up our shower niche. And we've done that by piecemealing products together, and a question always comes up as to how we waterproof it. Well, Schluter's actually solved that with their lighted niche product. I'm here with Kelby from Schluter.
Yeah, so our first product is our lighted niche. Technically it's LiProtech, which stands for Lighted Profile Technology. And so what it is it's 3 waterproof pre-manufactured niches, so 12 inches wide, 12 inches tall, 20 inches tall, or 28 inches tall, that come with an LED light that is in a silicone diffuser It's a nice, clean 3000K light that's over 96% on the CFI color scale, so it's really pure white. It doesn't change the color of your tile or your grout. If you stick your hand in there, it's still the flesh color. What really makes it work well is if we look right over here at one of these boxes, it integrates a UL approved junction box from the factory that's approved. It meets 2023 North American Electrical Code and UL listing. So that's really what gets us in the game to be able to have a fully waterproof and electrically certified box with all the pieces and components that you need. So you get the niche, you get the channel body or the Deco SG to hold it, and actually a silicone, as I mentioned, a silicone diffused LED light that's fully waterproof, has an easy connection. There's a 24 volt in wall fire rated low voltage wire. It doesn't need conduit. It can run just like a piece of Romex. And then there's a couple different driver options depending on the needs you have. The driver options are, the first one is this all-in-one. So this gives you a on-off dimmer switch and a 24 volt driver in a single gang junction box. There's actually
there's no need for an auxiliary driver.
Right, with this one, this will control up to 2 of these lights in one shower. It can power 2, and it gives you just a simple plug and play. There's actually a plastic blade that connects to this so that it physically divides the high voltage and low voltage in the box for the inspection. So this is a simple plug and play option. Then this option is a little more custom, the larger driver. So this can actually power up to 6 of these. So if you want to run multiple niches in a large shower, you can have 6 sets of lights. This one also physically divides the low voltage and the high voltage. It has the step down transformer. But the nice thing with this one is you're not limited to just the dimmer switch. You can have your own switch that matches the rest of the switches in your home.
Got it, yeah.
You could add a smart switch. You could even work with switch manufacturers and maybe get one that has a motion detector or proximity switch, and that could turn into a night light in the bathroom as you walk in.
So this gives you a lot more customized.
Gives you full control. Right. You just need to mount this in an accessible area, like in a closet or under a vanity, somewhere that the electrician can hook it up and it can be accessed, but not buried in a wall or in a hot attic or something like that.
Sure. So Kelly, let me stop you for a moment. So we've done this in the past differently.
Yes.
And what we've done is we've used the aluminum channel. We've actually installed it in a niche like this. We don't have the junction box.
Let me guess, drilled a little hole.
We drill a little hole in the corner. Yeah. We do use the Curdy fix, so it is waterproof heading out. But the question has come up a lot, especially when we share a detail like that on social media, is like, well, how are you making this waterproof?
Right.
And we didn't really have a great answer. And there is a plastic diffuser. We'll add silicone to it, but it was one of those things where it worked, but we were always, wondering how long is it going to work for?
Right.
And
silicone has a shelf life, right?
Exactly. And I think one of the really cool things about this is exactly what you said, that it's silicone encased LED, and that completely protects the lighting element in this. And and I love the fact that this is just a Deco SG, which we use constantly for our in-wall glass channel and things like that. And then of course, all of the connections, being in a UL listed box, it prevents that issue where, is that an approved method? Is it going to pass inspection? And is it safe?
Right, and what really makes this work is the 24 volt wire actually has a waterproof gland as the connector that snaps in physically into here, and has a neoprene O-ring, and so that's really where the waterproofing and the electrical come together.
So we've talked from here out. Let's talk from here in.
Sure.
So in terms of the channel itself, the lengths of them, this is great that you have a standard niche. What if I build a niche that's 8 feet long?
Well, I would tell you on that, you need to stay tuned.
Okay. Oh.
There's always things in development
Version
into the
2.
future.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe version 2, maybe version 3.
Okay.
But I would say stay tuned and look for things maybe later this year.
So one thing I'm seeing in the industry is solar roofs and how they're changing. I'm here with Frank from Certainteed.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going,
Good to
man?
see you again.
Good to see you. And I want to start with this one. This is a Solstice shingle.
Yes, sir.
Traditionally, and especially over the last decade, solar has been these panels that are installed either on top of an existing roof or even integrated in a new roof somehow, but they're bulky and they're big.
Yep.
While it's not a seamless or what you would consider a luxury solar roof, still a sleek looking product. So walk me through what we have here.
And not only do we have the contractor in mind too for the ease of installation with this product, but it's really the homeowner focus is what we are trying to go to market with. So you go through these neighborhoods, there's the big bulky rack and panels on. Doesn't look the best. So what we wanted to do was integrate our solar panels with the actual asphalt shingles themselves.
Got it.
So we kind of have it cut away. We have our Grace underlayment here,
Sure.
which is our preference to use. And then that goes directly into the install for the contractor, integrated directly into the asphalt shingles. And these shingles lay right on top, so the waterproofing, you're protected underneath with not only Grace, but you're also protected with the shingle on top. When you look at it from the street, you just see that sleek appearance that's integrated directly with the roof. So it's a shingle in itself that just offers the benefits for the solar part too.
So from an install perspective, I know in a lot of like some of the high-end products that are out there in terms of solar shingle roofs and things like that, they require a certain installer and frankly, like myself personally, I've actually struggled with that, where we had a project that was supposed to be moving forward, got canceled due to
a lot of people do.
Yeah, due to the fact that we couldn't get installers. So is this something that you're required to install with, Certainteed, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we prefer obviously that you use our products. You don't need to use a Certainteed roof. We do ask that the shingle be a certain quality. So if you have a 10-year roof,
you're talking about from a material perspective.
Strictly material perspective. You're not going to put a solar system on a 10-year-old, 15-year-old roof because you're going to have to replace that roof. So maybe a 5-year or earlier roof, you could put these right on top. It's probably best to just do it with a fresh install, like a re-roof roof.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying before.
But in terms of labor, like we're talking about material, but in terms of labor, who's installing these panels?
A contractor, general roofing contractor. You don't need any expertise.
So
you don't need to be a solar installer.
And that's the struggle, is like you're waiting on these install teams.
Yeah.
And frankly, not every, like, sure you can get training, but it's a long list and
you're taking forever. Yeah, exactly right. No, these are geared exactly to what you said, to the asphalt roofing shingle contractor. That's who our target audience is. That's the best installer for this product, because not only are they going to be installing the shingles themselves, they'll install the solar panels too. So it's pretty simple to install. A couple screws goes right to the roof deck. These are all snap and lock. Each one of these is 70 watts. So we have a platform, it's called Aurora. So you go in, you plug in the address, get a couple utility bills, and that system will tell the contractor and the homeowner as well, hey, I need X amount of roofing Solstice 1 shingles per roof install. It'll position it exactly on the roof, so all the contractor is doing is going up, taking that floor plan and just saying, okay, I need to put this one here, I need to put this one here. These just snap, lock. All of the connections, male to female, like I was saying, underneath the attic. So you're not seeing any of those wires.
So when you say male to female underneath the attic, is each one of them penetrating through the attic, or is it daisy chained and then penetrate once?
Correct. Yep.
That's smart.
So it's all of them are just connected underneath. I want to say it's about 4 of them per connection for systems. And all the contractor needs to do is have somebody come out that's a certified electrician. They take those connections that the contractor did and just put it right to the breaker box, and they can walk away.
Guys, that's a wrap here in Las Vegas at the 2024 International Builder Show. Be sure to stay tuned for a couple other videos that we have coming from the show, as well as implementing some of the products that you've seen at the show here in our future projects.